I'm Jim Ross today. We celebrate Alex Cardinale's first year working at Texas Roadhouse.
That's right, JR. Alex is a hard worker at Texas Roadhouse and loves his job. He sure is legendary.
Join Alex as he puts together a slobber knocker celebration video celebrating his first year as a roadie. Now give Alex a legendary yeehaw.
Now, let's get this celebration started. Please welcome roadie Alex Cartinelli. Don't forget to visit Alex at Texas Roadhouse on Southern Boulevard in West Palm Beach.
Yeehaw! Hello everyone, welcome to a very special video here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cartinelli. I'm your host, the one and the only legendary Alex Cartinelli. Today, we celebrate something that means a lot to me. Today, we are going to be celebrating my 1-year work anniversary at Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, technically, the 1-year mark for my job at Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach was on December 5th, 2021. But because Christmas is a busy time of year for me, I'm going to do the celebration today. So this is going to be a really fun episode where I get to talk about my job, what I like about it, my goals, and all that other good stuff. I am very fortunate that I have the fact that I can say that I love my job, I love going to work every day, and I love my coworkers. That is something that I could not say about my previous job before I got hired here at Texas Roadhouse. So today I'm going to recap my first year as a host at Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach. This is going to be a little bit of a different video than I normally do, but I think you're all going to enjoy it. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, or you want to tell me congratulations, just post them in the comments and I will answer all of your comments that I get on today's live video. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So you guys know that in 2020, I was working at Publix in West Palm Beach, and I was very unhappy with my job at Publix because they constantly had me cleaning carts and doing all sorts of janitor work, and I just was not into janitor work, and I wanted to be a cashier and a customer service clerk. I was a bagger and I went out and got carts and stuff, but I wanted to move up to the cashier position, and that wasn't happening at Publix, and I got tired of dealing with people that were paranoid over the COVID-19 pandemic, and I got sick and tired of doing janitor work. So I quit Publix in August of 2020. So that meant that I had to spend the rest of August, September, October, and November looking for jobs. And that was a very long and hard job search. I ended up getting a lot of interviews, and most of the interviews were for restaurants, but there were a few retail interviews, and most of them, they ended up not calling me back or telling me the position was filled. So I had thought that I was going to be going into 2021 still unemployed, but then I came across an ad on Facebook that said Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach was hiring. So I looked at the jobs that they had. They had a host, they had an SA, which is basically a busboy. They had a server, and they had line cooks and a couple other positions that interested me. But I really wanted to be a host, but I was quick to fill out an application, and the application was for an essay. So that's what the interview started as. But I had an interview with a couple of people. The first interview was with the administrator of Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach, a gentleman by the name of Tevin. And then my next interview was with the store manager, the person that actually runs the roadhouse that I work at, Mrs. Jackie Roberts. And Jackie Roberts is a very, very kind young woman. I have a lot of love and respect for Jackie. She's a great person. And it was a pleasure meeting Jackie, a very good interview. I told her that I was from Massachusetts, and we got to talking. And Jackie was the one that told me that she thought I would be very beneficial as a host, and I would be a great addition to the team. And I wholeheartedly agree now. I agree that the host is the best position for me because I see how hard the essays work, and I definitely don't want to be busting tables or dealing with any of the customers in that sort of regard. So the interview went really well. As a matter of fact, the interview was so good that I got hired on that day, I believe. It was either that day or the next day that Jackie called me back and told me she wanted to hire me. And if I was interested in the job, it was mine. So I didn't even have to think hard about the decision because I knew that I wanted to work at a restaurant and I wanted to have fun and I wanted to like my job. Now, honestly, there was another job that I was going to get hired at, and that was Cracker Barrel as a cashier in their store. But after doing some research from previous employees, they did not like their job at Cracker Barrel. So I decided to take the job at Texas Roadhouse, and I really, really loved it. And I enjoy working at Texas Roadhouse. So after the interview with Jackie and Tevin, I was hired as a host on December 5th, 2020 at Texas Roadhouse, West Palm Beach, Florida. So I know a lot of people are going to ask the question, how did I get hired? Well, I actually have experience in the restaurant industry, although not front of the house experience. I have mostly back of the house kitchen work. I went to culinary school for about 5 years, and then I did some what do you call that, training at a restaurant as a line cook, and then I volunteered at events as a line cook and food runner. So this is the first time that I will be working, that I am working in the front of the house of a restaurant, and I really enjoy the front of the house aspect. I think it's a little more fun and a little more rewarding because we get people to their tables in a timely manner, and the quicker we get people set, the more money we bring to the restaurant, which is the way I operate when I am in charge of who gets sat and where they get sat. So anyway, I think it was my experience in the kitchen and in the restaurant industry. I think it was also the fact that I have customer service experience when I worked at Big Y, World Class Markets in Massachusetts. And I also think it's my experience from working at Publix. And then I think it's the way that I present myself. I'm a very knowledgeable young man that has a lot of passion for the things that I do. And I always give it my best to whatever I'm doing. So I think that is how I got hired at Texas Roadhouse, West Palm Beach. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking 1 year isn't anything when there's people that work 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and I definitely agree with that. But for me, it's my very first job that I've been at for longer than 8 months. My first job I got was Big Y, World Class Markets in late 2018. And my family and I made the decision to move to Florida in the summer of 2019. So I had to leave my Big Y job, which was my first job, and I really enjoyed that job. But I had to leave to move here to Florida. So I did that. And then I got a job at Publix. I enjoyed working at Publix for a couple of months. I made some friends, but like I said, there was no room for advancement. The managers didn't think that I could be a cashier, so I quit and I never returned to Publix. And then I found Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach, and I feel like a family there because I'm friends with so many coworkers, and I love the management. And I really, really enjoy working at Texas Roadhouse, West Palm Beach. So people ask me all the time how I came up with the name Legendary Alex Cartinelli. I did not create that name. That was a name that was given to me by a manager that works at Texas Roadhouse. His name is Andrew Pena. Andrew and I are really great friends. And I said to him, I really enjoy working at Texas Roadhouse. And he says, we love having you. You're a great worker. And then when people ask for regular butter instead of the honey cinnamon butter, the first couple of times I went into the kitchen to ask for the regular butter, Andrew would always correct me and say, you want to ask for the legendary whipped butter. So to make sure that I remembered that, he started calling me Legendary Alex. And every time he said that, I knew to say legendary whipped butter. And that is something that I'm going to remember now because of my name, Legendary Alex Cartinelli. So when I go to ask for butter, I always make sure to ask for legendary whipped butter, which is awesome. So let's talk about when I got hired and when I began working. I want to talk about my first days working at Texas Roadhouse. So I'm trying to remember everything that I can. For some reason, I forgot most parts, but my very first day, I was kind of nervous because I was not sure what to expect as a host. Obviously, I knew that I was going to be seating people, bringing them their silverware and bread and butter, but I was not sure how a host works. So my first 3 days, I was training. I was training with a trainer, and I had to go over all the table numbers and I had to memorize all the tables. So I took a picture with my phone of the restaurant layout and all the tables, and I had to memorize that for weeks. I had to study that. And I later found out that in the host booklet underneath the host stand, there's actually a paper with the entire layout that goes over which tables can be extended, which tables cannot be extended. Basically, everything I would have found useful when I was training, but my trainers never showed me that. But I have a good memory, so I was able to memorize the table numbers off of my cell phone. And after a few weeks of sitting people, I got used to the tables and I could do it without my cell phone anymore. It took me a good month and a half to know all the tables. Now, a year later, I can tell you all the table numbers and where they are without even having to take a break because I know all the table numbers, I know where their location is, and now I know which ones extend and which ones don't extend, which had I known when I first started, it would have made it a lot easier. But like I said, I didn't have that paper that I know that Texas Roadhouse has underneath the host stand. There's a whole booklet of stuff that trainers are supposed to give to the host on their first couple of days. So my first days of Texas Roadhouse, working at Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach, was fun. I enjoyed it, and I got used to it. So after that, I was like, this is the easiest job I've ever worked. Because, like I said, I used to work in the kitchen as a line cook. I used to do expo, and then I dealt with customers in a grocery store. But this is the easiest job, and basically all you're doing is walking people to their table, asking if they've dined here before, and things like that. So I got used to working as a seater. And 6 months into seating, I got bored of seating. So I asked to move up, and I did. And we'll talk about that right now. So before I talk about my promotion, I want to talk about what our responsibility as a host is, because when I tell people that I'm a host, they automatically assume that I'm like a I help the server set up tables and stuff like that. That might happen at other restaurants, but that doesn't happen at Texas Roadhouse. So basically, host, there's like a couple different variations of host. There's a person that takes names. There's a person that does call aheads. There's a person that does the seating rotation, which is called the board coordinator. And then there's your seater, which is the person that brings you to your table. And on busy nights, there is a large party coordinator, but at our store, it's generally a manager or a manager in training. But we really don't need, in my opinion, we really don't need a large party coordinator, because I know how to tell our guests that it's going to be a little bit of a wait and that we don't have tables big enough to accommodate parties larger than 10. But we still need a large party coordinator anyways, in case the guest gets rowdy or they don't want to wait. So basically, there are a couple of important roles as a host. Obviously, a seater can't do everything, or a person taking names can't do everything. So that's why it is broken down into a couple of different categories. So let's say, for example, I'm scheduled as a name taker. That day, I would arrive at my shift, and usually I'd begin seating until we started picking up, and we were down to like our final 3 tables. At that point, we would start putting people on the wait, and that is when I would jump behind the second computer and start taking names and add people to the wait. And as you're doing that, you're going to be answering the phone as well, except for Friday nights and I believe Saturday nights. That's when we use our call ahead system. I know the West Palm Beach only does it on Friday nights and Saturday nights, but in my other state where I lived, they did it every day, because I guess they were in like a more centralized location that had a lot of people. But definitely, we don't need it Mondays through Thursdays. We're not really that busy unless it's a holiday or something. But as a name person, you can definitely take names and answer the phone, and you'll help seat as well. The board coordinator does not seat or do anything else, except they will also take names and answer the phone. But my responsibility as a board coordinator is to make sure that I am rotating guests to each server, so that each server gets a fair amount of guests, so that there's no one complaining to the manager that I'm playing favoritism to one server and not the other. And I do a pretty good job of making sure that all the servers have their 3 tables filled. And then I know my good servers who are able to take extra tables, and I have no problem in giving extra tables. As a matter of fact, I kind of have a little bit of leeway when it comes to working the board during the lunch shift. So none of the managers have a problem with me assigning 4 tables on days where we are extremely busy. So it is something that I really enjoy. My favorite position as a host is definitely the board coordinator. Then there's the updater shift, which basically you're almost like a walking essay that day, except you are looking at the computers that are located all around the restaurant, trying to figure out which tables are going to be getting up, so you can summon an essay to that table. And you're also going to be helping out the essays by pre-busing each table, so that we can make sure that we are getting butts in seats as quick as possible, because the more people that are seated, the more money that we are going to make, and the more tips that we are going to make as well. In the beginning, I loved updating, But as I kept doing it more and more, it does kind of get stressful because there are a few managers that want you to be constantly moving around, and sometimes people aren't just gonna get up, and we have to wait for them to get up, and then we have to find essays and summon them to the tables right away. But I do a pretty good job updating. It's not my favorite position, like I said, but I do it. I do what I am asked to do. So that's the updater. I talked about the board. I talked about taking names. I think that's pretty much all the host positions. Call ahead is pretty simple. You just answer the phone. You take the person's name, their phone number, and you ask them basic questions like if they have any requests or any of that stuff. And when I'm doing call aheads, I try to help out on Friday nights. I help out the managers with large parties. I take all their information and I tell them that they need to speak with the large party coordinator, which is usually the manager that is running the front, and they go over the table details, and then I put them on the wait list. So that is very beneficial on Friday nights as well. And then there's the seating aspect where basically my job is just to get bread and butter and silverware and walk the person to the table and ask them, have you guys dined here before? And initiate small talk. But I'm going to be honest, most of the people that I ask either say yes, or there are some people that act like they're zombies and act like they can't hear me, or just they don't care. And then there's other people that are complete assholes who will be completely rude to me and tell me that I'm walking too fast or whatever. And there are times where I want to take a step back and say, well, if I'm walking too fast, then you can walk yourself to the table. But you can't do that when you're on the job because it'll cause problems. So I've been told that I am a really fast walker. I guess I am. I don't know, but mostly it's people that are above 60 that tell me that I walk too fast. So when I'm seating, I try to walk a little slower nowadays, but I can't help the way that I walk. So that is basically what I do as a host at Texas Roadhouse, besides other tasks that you might be asked to do, like scoop butter or roll silverware. I love to scoop butter, and I have never rolled silverware, but I know that day's coming. I've already been asked to do it once, but I had to go home because I had something going on. But I'm sure in the future I will be rolling silverware. All right. So we have some comments. My buddy Jeff is in the house. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. And Jeff also says Texas Roadhouse is lucky to have you. I think that is true in an aspect, and I'm also lucky to be working at Texas Roadhouse, thanks to my dear friend Jackie Roberts for hiring me. If it wasn't for my interview with Jackie, I wouldn't be working at Texas Roadhouse. So I enjoy working there, and I think they are lucky to have me. I am pretty good at what I do, and I enjoy it. So thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. All right. So someone asked me the other day, a guest asked me, how do you like working at Texas Roadhouse? So at that time, I didn't know what to say because I was put on the spot. So I just said, it's good. I enjoy it. And that was that. But now that I think about it, I love my job because I have a lot of friends and I've hanged out with a lot of them. A lot of them are like family to me, which is great. Basically, I get some money that I could put aside to help with things that I need to pay. And I have a lot of fun. This job isn't stressful at all to me. There are some hosts that do get a little bit stressed out when we start getting busy, but it doesn't really bother me because I know when I'm doing board and when I'm taking names that basically I have control of where people sit and when they sit. And I know that if people start getting angry that all I got to do is just call the manager and they'll talk to them. So it really doesn't bother me at all. So I love my job. It's really simple and it's fun and it's a great way to make money. So, yes, I love my job at Texas Roadhouse. Do I have any dislikes of my job? I do. I have one. It is that I need more hours. So I'm going to be talking with the managers about getting some more hours. Right now I only work Fridays and Saturdays, but this week I worked uh, lunch. We were open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Christmas Eve, and then we were open Sunday lunch, but I didn't work Sunday. I worked Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm off tomorrow and Thursday, and then I come back on Friday and Saturday. So I would like more hours, but that is my only dislike is that um, it's hard to get a consistent number of hours with a consistent schedule because one week can be a lot different than the next. But that is my only dislike of working at Texas Roadhouse. All right, so that's enough about me. Now I want to talk about the most fun part about coming into work, and that is working with my friends. So I want to talk about some of the other people that make working at Texas Roadhouse fun and definitely exciting. So I'm going to call this the coworker spotlight. So I have a couple of favorite servers, and a lot of them are close friends. First up, we have Jackie and Nikki, who are sisters. They are amazing people. And they're phenomenal at what they do. They are some of the best servers that I have seen in any restaurant. I mean, just the other day, we were short staffed and we were busy, but I saw Jackie constantly taking tables and asking for more. I think at one time she had about 9 tables and she wanted more. She was a very, very hard worker, and I appreciate that. I respect that so much because it is hard being a server. I know that people can be picky. Some people don't like to tip. There are cheap people that go out to eat and don't tip much at all. There are people that will have $100 bill and give like $1.25 tip. So I know that it's hard being a server sometimes, but I really appreciated Jackie working really hard. Nikki is also a hard worker as well. Very, very nice ladies. So I'm glad to have them as friends. Then there's Danielle. Danielle is a great server, also a great friend of mine. She's also new to Florida, like I am. I moved here in 2019 from Massachusetts, and she came here from New York, which is pretty cool. And I love New York. I'm a New York Yankees fan, and I love Times Square. So we share that in common. But Danielle is another server who can take on many tables and continue to provide legendary service. For her, these last couple of days, she was one of the only bartenders, and she was bartending as well as serving tables, which is awesome. I really appreciate that from Danielle. That was really legendary. And then there's Ashley, another favorite server of mine. She's a great um, server. Then there's Cheyenne, another awesome server. Let's see, I don't want to forget anybody. There's a lot of people that I am friends with at Texas Roadhouse that deserve a spotlight. But right now, I just want to start with the servers. So let's see, I mentioned Nikki, Jackie, Ashley, Cheyenne. Oh, James is my favorite male server, or one of my favorite male servers. Kelvin's a great server as well. So basically, those are all of my favorite servers that I can think of right now. I have so many friends that are servers. Now, to go is a very vital part of the restaurant because we do also get a lot of to go orders. And the director of to go right now is my friend, Queen Kristen. I call her the Queen because she calls me the King. Kristen is a wonderful young lady that works very hard. She does everything on Friday lunch shift. You'll constantly see her packing orders, taking orders, scooping butter, and she even helps me seat sometimes when I need her. She's a very, very good worker, and I really appreciate that about Kristen. One of the best people that I've worked with. And when Kristen started, I worked with her at the host stand, and then she got promoted to go, and pretty soon she will be a server. And I'm very excited for Kristen to be working as a server pretty soon. That's going to be awesome for her. She definitely deserves that. Uh, who else? I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm trying to think. Because I know if I forget somebody, they're going to say, well, you didn't mention me. But for now, I'll just go to the managers. Of course, I talked about Jackie Roberts. I talked about Andrew. Andrew is not working at our location anymore, but he's a vital part of where I am today. He was actually the first manager that trained me to be on board. So if it wasn't for Andrew, I don't think I would be on board. But Jackie Roberts was actually vital in making sure that I got on board. So I have to thank Jackie for that as well. Mario's great. I enjoy working with Mario on Friday nights. Ryan is one of my favorite managers. CeeLo's a great manager as well. So I don't have any complaints about any of the managers, actually. I love them all. All right, so I think that's everybody. Let's just say I love the entire Texas Roadhouse staff, so I don't forget anybody. All right, we have another comment from my friend Cheyenne. She says, "You're awesome, Alex. Thank you for always being legendary." Thank you, I appreciate that. Actually, I was not given the name. I did not appoint that name to myself. That name was given to me by Andrew. So you could thank Andrew for calling me Legendary Alex. I just have to make sure that I stick to that name because it was given to me. All right, the last thing I want to talk about before I end today's video. Someone asked me the other day, do I recommend working at Texas Roadhouse? Absolutely, yes, I do. If you're looking for some a side income, I think Texas Roadhouse is a great job to work because the work is easy, you make a lot of friends, and you get tip share as a host. So I can only speak from experience as a host at Texas Roadhouse. It is definitely worth working at Texas Roadhouse because once you build a repertoire as a good worker, then you're going to start building relationships with the managers, and then eventually you can work your way up. So, yes, I do work. I do recommend working at Texas Roadhouse. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is my goals in the upcoming year, 2022. So eventually, I do want to move away from the host stand, and I want to get into to-go. I would like to be a to-go director. I see that Christian works really hard, and I think I would like working in to-go, dealing with customers, taking orders, and delivering food to people's car. I think to-go would be a new challenge for me, and I'm always up for a new challenge. I'm always willing to test myself and see if I could deliver. So I do want to stay at the host stand for a while, but I do want to move to go. I also do want to be a server at some point. So maybe at this time next year, I'll talk about being a server. But for now, I want to go into to go and then work my way up to a server, and from there work my way up to management. So those are my goals for the next year. So I think I covered everything on today's video. I know I was all over the place. Sometimes I can ramble on when it comes to stuff like this when I don't have a script written out or anything, but I think I did pretty good. So I wanted to get a couple of pictures with some of my favorite coworkers, but we got slammed Monday and we were kind of busy today, so I didn't have the chance to do that. And then I forgot all about it when I got cut, except I was able to get a selfie with my favorite to-go person, and that is Kristen. So you guys can see that on the screen right there. It's also on my Instagram and Facebook. So I just figured I would show you guys that. Very cool pictures. Alrighty. So that's everything that I have for you on today's video. For all my personal friends that are watching this video, come visit me at Texas Roadhouse in West Palm Beach, Florida. 8865 Southern Boulevard, Building E, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33411. And if you want to know if I'm working, all you've got to do is text me, and I'll let you know, and I'll hook you up, of course, because I like to call my friends up, as always. So, thank you guys for watching today's video. As always, stay legendary. Have a great rest of your 2021. And don't forget to tune into my New Year's Eve bash live this Friday, December 31st, 2021 at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be a very fun show. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cartinelli, if you're not subscribed already. I've got some awesome cooking videos, baking videos, wrestling videos, and aquarium videos coming up. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to stop by Texas Roadhouse and get some legendary food. And have a great rest of your 2021 and night. Legendary Alex Cartinelli here to announce the legendary Alex Cartinelli subscriber giveaway presented by Texas Roadhouse. This giveaway is for all of you, all 16,000 of you subscribed to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cartinelli. On Sunday, March 6, 2022, I will be celebrating my 8th year as a YouTuber. I will be hosting my 8-year YouTube anniversary. And in order to celebrate that, I'm going to say thank you to my 16,000 subscribers by hosting a prize giveaway presented by Texas Roadhouse. The prize for this giveaway is a customized $75 Texas Roadhouse gift card signed by yours truly, the legendary Alex Cartinelli. I will sign the gift card and send it your way. So here is how to enter this contest to win a $75 Texas Roadhouse gift card. Film a video discussing your favorite meal at Texas Roadhouse and your favorite video of mine and favorite thing about my YouTube channel. Now, if you have never eaten at Texas Roadhouse before, then just discuss your favorite video of mine and your favorite thing about my YouTube channel. Email the video to alexgoyankiecardinelli19@gmail.com by March 1st, 2022. Anyone that is subscribed to my channel can enter. So I suggest entering so that you can have an all-exclusive entree, appetizer, and dessert, and maybe even a margarita at Texas Roadhouse, courtesy of the legendary Alex Cartinelli. So enter right now. Deadline for entry is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. All video entries will be uploaded to my YouTube channel and the legendary Alex Cartinelli subscriber giveaway playlist. Video with the most likes and views wins. The winner will be announced live on March 6th, 2022 during my 8-year YouTube anniversary. Good luck, everybody. Enter now. Remember, entry's deadline is March 1st. Stay legendary, everybody. Hey, legendary Alex Cartinelli here. I'm inviting you, my viewers, to be a part of history. Come tune in to my inaugural New Year's Eve bash live Friday, December 31st, 2021 at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Join me as I end 2021 in style and begin 2022 with a bang. Live on my New Year's Eve bash, I am going to review the year that was 2021. I will discuss the good and the bad of 2021. I will discuss my best YouTube videos of 2021. I will discuss my New Year resolutions for 2022, and there will be viewer interactivity. Some of my subscribers will be on my video to discuss their New Year resolutions. All that and more, including an appearance from Chef Alex Cardinelli, who will be giving out delicious alcoholic beverage recipes as well as delicious appetizer recipes as well. So join me live Friday, December 31st, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, as the final episode of 2021 is sure to be a banger. We'll see you on New Year's Eve for a fun special broadcast right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cartinelli, New Year's Eve, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific.